Come on, come on, come on. How you want it, cognac or Patron? Brunch with the boys, we gon' give you what you want. And what you don't know, we about to put you on. Come on, come on, come on. How you want it, cognac or Patron? Brunch with the boys, we gon' give you what you want. And what you don't know, we about to put you on. Yes, we are the trending topic. Three relationship profits. Brunch with the boys, we the hottest. Brunch with the boys, we the hottest.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy King Des here. Another episode of Brunch with the motherfucking boys. We're so happy to be here with you guys this evening. What's going on, gentlemen?
Jeez, hey, listen, I cut my hair, y'all. In case y'all didn't notice.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I'm saying?
Took 7 months off his appearance too.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, only 7 months though.
A few hoes would disagree, but I hear you. What's good, Jen?
It's Mr. Jen out here. How y'all doing?
Hey,
We see you with the old school watch, Jen.
I'm fine with it.
Yo,
though.
Jen, listen, can we do an informal poll? Do people still wear watches where you got to tell the time? Like you got to do
You
the
got to actually
calculations?
read it.
Listen, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying nowadays, are people still wearing those watches?
I bet
Or
your
did you
kids
buy
can't
one?
even read time.
Huh?
Yeah, your kids probably can't even read time.
They teach them. They can do it.
Yeah.
I think they think longer than we would on it though.
You're right.
Like
why they
goddamn,
can't- they
what's
can't
9
even do
times
cursive.
6? Nah, they don't teach that shit no
Yeah,
more.
don't
don't
teach
teach
cursive
it,
no
yeah.
more,
Yeah.
man.
And we don't use it. I don't write in
Yeah.
cursive. Y'all write in cursive?
Sometimes. when
All
I'm
the
feeling
time.
Fancy.
Really? I
Yeah.
know you do, nigga. That was a
Yeah.
rhetorical question for you.
him, yeah.
I do calligraphy as
I was
well.
just going to say, Clever, you used to do that when you were in high school.
Do you really?
He was real fancy. Yeah.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally
I can't
different.
stand
How
you.
we share the room, I don't know.
I can't stand
yeah.
both of y'all. But
Anyways,
that's,
we got a special guest, don't we?
yeah, absolutely. We're here with the CEO of Mack Media Moguls. Her name is Jeanine, and she's also head of this podcast, the host of The Breakup Boss. Is that the podcast name?
So you just...
The podcast name is
Jeanine Unscripted
Unscripted.
okay.
Yes.
But your book
is the breakup.
is The
Boss.
Breakup
Oh,
Boss.
so you helping women break up with men? Are you helping men break up with women too? Because
Well,
we
you know
probably need
what?
more help with that.
Yes, I'm trying to help everybody.
Okay.
You trying to help everybody break up?
Yes, but here it is.
That's not godly.
The right
Yes,
way.
it is. Sometimes you're in the wrong relationship and then you don't know how to get out. You need instruction on how to get out.
Sometimes you just got to drain the bank accounts and run.
You see, it's,
That's one. Is that one of the tips? or
It's
no?
not, but in my book, I've introduced some
Fuck
other
with
things
me.
to do.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then,
Fuck with me.
but sometimes you need to break up with yourself. That's the first relationship you need to have intact. And if that relationship is not intact, you're going to be in trouble trying to invite somebody else into your trouble.
I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
In some ways, you do have to break up with yourself. And we're going to talk a bit about that in our topic today.
Okay.
We are.
So before we move on, can you tell us a little bit about what drove the book? You know, what drives your general purpose of Mack Media as well? Like,
Yes.
Why you do what you do, boo?
Okay. Awesome. So, actually, Mack Media Moguls came about as a avenue, actually for my oldest son. He is in music production. When he attended Full Sail, and he kind of did some things incorrectly as far as working with people, not having contracts and things in place. So he worked on a whole track, and it's
That's how they get us.
unreleased.
That's how they get us.
Yes. So I said, okay, never do that again.
Right.
Let's put something in place so that moving forward, you have a foundation to stand on when you're doing business. You know, everybody is friends until things go left. But that
Facts.
piece of paper will stand no matter how you feel about me.
Yeah.
So that was the basis in which it was formed. And the long range plan is that I will help produce other aspiring writers, give representation like management to other artists in other areas as well, too.
what's up.
So I'm just like starting with myself and going through all the bumps and everything like that of it. And then eventually we'll probably next year start helping to publish other authors that are
what's
coming up and, doing some e-classes and
We
things
get a
like
round of
that.
applause for that.
absolutely.
Thank
Stuff
you.
like
That's
that.
excellent. That's
I thought you were just going to say I'm opening an OnlyFans, but what you said sounds a lot better.
She said she is a genuine old school businesswoman. Is what she
Yes,
is.
yes.
All right,
yes.
so tell me a little bit about Unscripted. Like,
Yes.
what are you targeting? What's your premise on that?
Yes, so Jeanine Unscripted Podcast came about because, you could be on social media, and then you can only like do bites. You know, it's only so much you can do, and then the whole interest of social media is to grab your attention in a short time frame.
That's it.
And some things, some topics are a lot deeper than that. So we need more time, just like you all are doing here. And so to give a platform to have those conversations in a different format that people can go in there and listen to that. Some people are auditory learners. Some people like to read. So just broadening that platform to get the message out. Right now I'm in my relationship series, which helped jump off with the book. But my season 4 is all about the men. So I'm only having all male guests. We are only talking about things that are pertaining to men and to hear it from the men.
Man, say that shit for the people in the back. That's what we talking about.
Yes, especially as women, we try to counsel each other based on what we think you all are thinking.
No, you can't do that.
And we find out we be wrong.
You need the horse. You need the horse sometimes. You need the horse.
You know what's crazy? They tend to say women go unheard. Like, I want you to listen to me, but it's really the men who go unheard.
Yes.
We're
silently
suffering
suffering.
a lot.
Yes.
I would, I agree with you. Just in the specifying that, I would say, I think men speak, but men speak only a fraction of what they would like to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we speak, it's resounding. If you're a man, right, your voice carries and it holds weight in your atmosphere. But I think there's a lot of things that men would like to say they don't feel comfortable or feel like it's appropriate
Absolutely.
to say. You know what I mean?
So we applaud you for that.
I would even say that when we speak so few in words, the reason we don't elaborate more is because what we just said isn't well received. So we don't feel safe or motivated to continue, down that path of what we're really feeling. But yeah.
Absolutely. And, my whole thing with trying to understand men a lot better really came about raising my own sons. It was through that experience. I have 3 boys. They're all grown now. I can't say boys, but 3 grown men now. It was through going through their growth and matriculation process that I found out that men have feelings.
That's crazy.
And that's hard to say. I mean, because obviously they got a daddy, but
Right.
I didn't think they had
But
feelings.
you know what's crazy though, right? And I'm not gonna let you off the hook. You basically just said I was with a man, and I didn't know that nigga had feelings. Like
That's true.
That's most women.
You know what I mean? And that's tough
She's
for him.
not
That's
alone.
tough for him.
She's
That
not alone.
is. That is.
You have a
It's
worldwide
true.
support group on that. I promise you
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and
Keep
I'm
doing your thing. I love that.
I'm at a point where I can admit that. At that time when we were together, I couldn't admit that.
Man, shout out to the
So-
admit. Dog, accountability is so big.
I'm telling you, she's killing it already.
I've had so many discussions with other men when they've met so many women that have an issue with just apologizing, just owning what they do. So it's big, and it means so much. So simple.
Yes,
Well said, well
absolutely.
said.
So,
absolutely.
Jeanine, what wanted you to come on Brunch with the Boys? I mean, I know you're a listener, so
Yes. I'm always commenting on you
we don't
guys.
got no sense.
How long you been late? Before you answer that question, how long you been listening for?
I would say, I think somehow in the algorithm of it all for Instagram, you all came to me through
Yeah.
whatever it means, and I
Oh, yeah.
follow, and I just thought that you guys were hilarious. You reminded me of my brothers. I'm the youngest in my family, so I
right.
have older brothers.
Oh, so you definitely you
know.
should have been understood me,
Right.
girl. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I know, but
But
you're
you
like,
do
oh, that's
shelter
the
their little sisters,
brothers.
too.
You
They do
know,
shelter
like,
them,
you know.
You didn't shelter ours.
no.
That's why she don't like you now.
You're right.
She's a thug now. I think some of that we might have did
You're
some
right.
wrong
You're
things.
right. And it didn't help her in the game either. She kind of ran into those same hiccups.
Yeah, because you can't be a dude trying
I think
to
it's
get
inevitable for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
It's another
Once that
podcast.
love slap you across the face. Yeah. And that dick. But,
Well, we're
Literally,
happy.
right?
Yeah.
We're definitely happy to have you, and we'll dig into what we're
happy to
talking
be
about
here.
today for sure.
All right,
I
so
have a
go
gift
ahead.
for you guys.
Please.
Oh,
Can I
okay.
give it to
like
you right
gifts.
now? I don't wanna
you do.
forget.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I always like to, bless the folks. It's a copy of my book.
Oh, that's what's up.
I didn't put your names in it
what's
because
up.
I don't know
That's
if you
what's
might
up.
wanted to have it for yourself
That's
or
what's up.
keep
I
it for
appreciate it.
yourself.
Break
And,
up
Break up
boss.
with toxic
The
people.
breakup boss,
and
y'all.
mindsets
Come on
that
now.
keep you
Get
down.
it.
Dog, this is tight, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if you guys liked the hat, so I just bought one. But I would get
Okay.
it to you. This is something I'm gonna premiere for like Black Friday on my site. The Boss Up hat. I
Hey,
feel like it's
Des
kind of
is the cat
unisex.
wearer.
So
Des is the
he's
cat
our
wearer.
official hat wearer.
Okay.
So we
I
have
try
to
it every
give to
once in
him.
a while. It
Okay,
works. It works
okay.
for me, but
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate
you're
you.
welcome.
That's what's
Thank
up, girl.
you.
Much
I'm loving
appreciated.
that.
Much appreciated.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so we're going to get into it. This is a topic that we've been kind of longing to touch on. Stayed away from it for good reason, but we're gonna get into it today, and that's why men cheat.
Okay.
And just keep it real with us. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna keep it real with you. It could get ugly.
Okay.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
think so?
Because I just don't want to pull
Not if
punches.
she keep it real though.
Well, see, you know how it is when you keep it real. It hurt people differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna get right into it. But I want to start really from the emotional level. They say men cheat due to a lack of emotional immaturity. Would you agree with that?
Are you?
I'm asking the men. I
Okay,
want the
okay.
men. I want us. We're gonna get her.
I'm gonna agree with that only solely because if you're not gonna be willing to and man up and make an action towards alleviating yourself from this situation that you know is not good for you by actually leaving, which is the hardest thing to do, right? Then it becomes a cowardly act. So therefore, it's gonna seem as if we're again emotionally immature. So I would say I can see that. I've lived it, and I learned to kind of have some self-awareness and accepted it, right? So I just
Let me ask
it's a
you
man-up
this:
situation.
do you think
I don't
that's?
want to answer that question.
Go ahead.
You said, is it a sign of like immaturity?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think in some cases it is. I think men are very visual and tactile creatures. And I think sometimes they see a girl with some pretty titties or a pretty body or like a dope face.
I feel like you started with titties for a reason.
That's
Go
my
ahead.
favorite.
and you just want to experience that.
Yeah.
And I'm not justifying it, but what I'm saying is I don't think that there's some underlying issue that the man's dealing with. I don't think it's some
So you think
premeditated
it's sexual
thing.
variety?
I would tell you that, and I don't know a percentage because I should have did my Googles beforehand, but I would tell you a sizable percentage of men who cheat that are in relationships, I guarantee, I would argue is spur of the moment, in the moment, had no idea that they were going to do that when they left the house.
So let me ask you a question, D, on that. Do you think that impulse control is, or the lack thereof, is a sign of immaturity?
Yeah. You was about to ask. I see where you was going. So yes, I think it is. But that wasn't my point. My point was that I don't think you stupid. My point was I think sometimes it's impulse control in the lack thereof is a sign of immaturity. If you would like to abide by that standard but are unable to, right? Versus I'm making a conscious decision to do this.
Got
right?
it.
Because
There's a
impulse control is I
difference.
couldn't help myself.
Yeah.
No, I knew 1,000% when I was doing, and I calculated the risk versus the reward, and I felt like the risk outweighed the reward, and so I did it.
Yeah. And it's crazy you say you couldn't help yourself, but when you cheat, and we'll keep it real, we've all cheated at some point. I don't know if you have. Would
Sure.
You okay? Okay, yeah. You say that's how the relationship ended. We got it. But we've all cheated at some point. But there's a series of lack of self-control. You know, it's not just a moment. We were in the club, and I've been there before. Conveniently, the pussy kind of fall into your lap. You know what I mean? Like you weren't looking for
Like
it that
literally
night. You were out.
sometimes,
Yeah. But then sometimes we setting it up. And we done set it up 3-4 days in a row, you know what I mean, ahead of time. And in that case, I don't know that it's really impulse. I mean, we had a system, we had a plan. You know what I mean?
There was some intent there. What do you
Yeah.
think, Jeanine?
Premeditated cheating. That's
Premeditated.
what
Premeditated. It shit sound like murder, nigga. It's like a crime. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What do you think, Jeanine?
Okay, so on my self-awareness journey, right? So you have to have time. I feel like you have to have time to sit with yourself. So this is where I'm at. I look at your relationship as a tree, right? You just follow me just for a minute.
No, we'll
okay?
follow.
Your relationship just like this big tree, right? So I feel like, from what I've discovered, the cheating is the fruit. That's not the root.
Yeah.
So if you want to know why you're cheating, you have to get to the root of that.
I agree. I love that.
I would challenge and say, you decided, I decided, whomever decided to cheat, probably when you was 8, when you made a promise to yourself, when there was an emotional need that wasn't met. When I get big, nobody's gonna tell me no, that I can't have this.
Yeah.
Real talk.
And that's that 8-year-old you or that 10-year-old you, 13-year-old you that's acting out in that moment as an adult. But see, the difference is that decision you make when you're that age as a child, you have adult repercussions.
Yeah.
When you do these things, it's not just like having a fit, you know?
we got beatings for it too. So
Yeah,
I mean,
but
there's a pain associated with that.
It's funny though, you know, on the flip side, my father cheated on my mom, and So I remember us talking about it and we're like, man, we're never gonna cheat. Shouldn't me?
Y'all say that to each other.
Shouldn't?
No,
Yeah, we did.
yeah, we said it.
Yeah,
No, I
we said
remember.
like,
I
yeah,
remember.
no, we're not gonna do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could it be? Hey, don't. We're not judging here
It was-
tonight.
No, we're not
okay?
judging.
For real, it was.
No,
it's along the
just
same
irony
lines
of it.
of the true love weight
seriously.
string. Okay.
You stupid.
No, seriously. So I wonder, is it something that maybe we pick up subconsciously from our the men in our families? Like it's so predominant, and back the older generation, for them, you could cheat and come back for dinner on time, and you were good. So like the way seeing my mom take it and knowing, hey,
Yeah, she
maybe
was
a
hurt.
part of me in my mind was like, oh, so if I cheat, but I'm a great man outside of cheating, I'm straight.
Yeah.
And that's true most of the time. Unfortunately, no, it is. Like, if you're a dude that... See, the problem is a lot of things that get left to the side is they're not doing all this stuff they're supposed to do anyway as men in relationships. So it's easy for a woman to be like, man, you wasn't doing all this.
She would have
and you
left
gonna cheat
anyway.
on me?
Yeah,
I'm
she
out of here,
would've left
right?
anyway.
But that guy who has a great job, and I'm not talking, when I say great job, I'm not talking about money. I mean, is able to help and contribute to the household. He's
Security.
stable.
He can
He's a good man in every kind of noticeable definition of that word. And he treats her great, and they have a great time together. And he ended up getting some side pussy.
Yeah.
She's not going to be so quick to let him go as she would as that nigga that worked part-time at the gas station.
At the Wawa?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, at the Wawa.
It's hard to
Right.
break
It's
a
upright.
pattern of behavior, and I think that a lot of men, what happens is when you're single, you can do what you want, you know, and then you get into a relationship and it's like, damn,
It's like turning off
3
the
weeks
faucet.
ago
Yeah,
I was
real
single,
quick.
and
Yeah.
you know, this is how I moved, and I don't know that a lot of men are good at just cutting things cold. I think marriage helps you to do that, but I think when you're like boyfriend, girlfriend, it's hard to really take that as like, man, this is that serious, you know, because technically you're single when you're not married.
But you know, a lot of times, a lot of us believe that we were ready, you know, and
I'm
so
ready.
For a relationship,
yeah, and then you make that jump, right?
Yes.
And you realize maybe you weren't as ready as you thought you were, right? Because it's a leap of faith any way you pull it, right? And so you taking this leap and you thinking like, okay, this is gonna work because she has A, B through Z, right? And then you feel like maybe you figure out that you're not ready. You know
but
what I'm
what if you're ready for the relationship? You're just not ready to give up the pussy you were getting on the side.
Can I throw something out
Go
here?
ahead.
And I hope I'm not preempting any
Just-
conversation we'd have at the end.
No,
but
no, go ahead.
I feel very strongly about this. It is going to be an unpopular position.
Go ahead, let's talk to him.
And I wholeheartedly mean it. And so I'm gonna set this up because it's gonna be something you guys heard me say before. I'm not saying men can't behave counter to this, but I think the natural
I was going to definitely bring that.
of men is to not be in lifelong monogamous
We're
relationships.
designed for it.
If you look at all of the world, every creature under it, whether you believe they evolved, you believe that God created the world in its image, whatever you believe, the behavior of 98 to 99% of all things, living things on the earth, is that the man is not a monogamous member in that relationship. He impregnates, he has relationships, not relationships is a strong word for animals, but other creatures, but
Yeah.
he procreates. That is his, and the biggest or the smartest or the fastest, whatever that is, gets to procreate with more women because he's more desirable.
Yeah.
And the lame ones don't, and their lineage dies off, right? So that's normal. And I think human beings are so smart and thoughtful that we do that and many other things that are against our natural nature, right? Think about how many things that you do during the day just to fit into society that if you didn't have to do, you'd be like, I'd never do that shit again.
I use
you
the
know what
word
I mean?
nigga a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's where you went.
I struggle with that one.
I actually don't feel like you use it often at all.
I do.
Yeah?
I do sometimes.
You always
yeah.
say ninja.
No, I
Yeah,
used to.
yeah.
I used to.
I'll
I've been,
nigga this shit up. You know what I'm saying? Personally.
But I feel like I think that's the underlying cause of some of the things, because what you've done, Jeezy, is you've laid out a few situations in which still, right, things being what they are, men choose to cheat. That it's that urge.
Yeah.
It's because I don't think it's something that means you're a bad man. I don't think it's something that's unusual. I think men constantly, and if any man tells you this, they are in the minority. I'm not gonna say they're lying, they're in the minority. Men constantly fight every day not to try to engage with multiple
I gotta
women.
agree with that a little bit. Yeah.
Nothing's
I'm not
harder.
saying women don't, but even the one, because women be like, men do the same thing, because as everything's got to be the same thing, right?
Yeah.
If they do it, it's not as many women, and if it's as many women, then it's not to the level that men do.
Jeanine, what do you feel about that? What he said?
So yeah, women do cheat. I think like for you guys, you can compartmentalize it. It's very emotional for us. So that's where if we're in a relationship, that's where you get in trouble because you're like, dang, you like dude? Yeah. You know, like you can hit it and go. Right. Like it might be the guy at work that we just go to lunch. Yeah. Right. And then, we call in and we talking. That's my friend. You look nice this morning. It's more emotional. So we're more tied into it. So it's like hard to break, in that regard. But I would say even like for us, just from that, breaking it down to just, a primal sense of where you see more men attract or get more women, it's that same thing, from a primal sense that he's more, we want to mate with him because he's more it just, if you want to break it down to that, then
can you speak a bit to the urges of a woman? Do you see a man or, throughout your day and you see men and say, man, I would fuck the shit out of him? Is there a real urge to, or is it just a hypothetical?
If you even say that.
If you even say it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you look like you say it.
Did you see how her mouth, she couldn't get those words out. Like, yeah, she's seen 3 today.
I was home.
Oh, okay. Online.
Right, online. Yeah. I mean, women are talking about sex a lot. We are talking about you guys. We're like, hey, great sweatpants, when the hoochie daddy shorts thing was going around. Yeah, we were sending that, we slide through the DMs as well too. I think the difference is we won't deliver on that because how it's a double standard. If we're propositioning men for sex, you guys don't want that. You want to hunt it and conquer it. You don't want it coming to you just like that.
So you have to, in a sense,
so we gotta like
put yourself out there and fandangle it. Yeah. Let it be known.
Fandangle it.
Yeah. Like no, a chick hits you in the she hits you in the DM like, hey you, and
that's all it takes.
No, you know what that hey you mean. I done read 22 paragraphs in that hey you. Right. Okay, you want me to come get it? Well then, okay then. You know what I'm saying? So I think you're right. Women do have to approach it differently.
Right, we have to be like more subtle with it because we don't want to be labeled a hoe.
Yeah,
we want we
don't want the hoe.
We don't want to do the slut walk. We don't want to do that. So we still want to be like respectable and all of that, but then still have our needs get met too.
But that's my thing though. Would you then fall into those urges? So you would hit a man up in the DM, nigga looking good. You hit him
not a
the
random.
Next day. Yeah,
not a random.
We have to establish something first.
So
and that's the difference between men and women.
That's the difference.
Yeah, you're with you a nigga at work.
In this one date, I can establish a level of intimacy that has me feeling so comfortable with you. About fucking you. Making you feel so comfortable, you thinking about fucking me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for you as a woman to say, not a, you putting work in. That's not really an urge per se. You know what I mean? So I think it's different in that way.
Yeah.
But do you believe that there's some men that some men are built with that same psychological approach of, man, I need to foster this. Yeah. When
you get older, I think a lot of men start.
Y'all said 2 different things though. He said, "Do you think there are men that are born like that?" And you said, "When you get older."
Yeah, I say older then. Okay, I don't think a nigga born like that.
You don't think anyone got that mentality like, man, I need to foster something before I can
drop a 7-year-old in the ice cream shop and say choose one. Come on, man. You it's too early. It's too early to choose one. You drop a 30-year-old in the ice cream shop, he's like, no, let me get that vanilla right there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Little sprinkle. He knows what he wants. It's something, you know what I mean?
You chose vanilla, but it's cool. Go ahead.
I was talking about a real flavor. I feel like y'all taking it elsewhere, but and y'all know my hat pass, so that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But you know what I mean? So I say older. I think a man has to grow into that because, man, at a young age, at 16, when you're just trying to get your dick wet, and then you finally do, and you like, damn, I can get, and you see this, that, every flavor walking around.
But I would argue that the ability to choose just one or choose a thing is not independent of, and it coincides with a maturity in a man and a level of confidence that I think rises as a man gets older, particularly if he's done the things that he needs to do to put himself in a position to be classified by most people as a real quote-unquote man, right? Yeah. Because I think the trajectory of women ain't gonna like this. The trajectory of women and the trajectory of men are 2 different things, right? they start here, right? The woman starts high and the man starts slow, right? And when the man is born, when he's 10, when he's 14, all he wants is to do anything he fucking can for the attention of that woman, right?
Yeah.
And she can't be bothered with that nigga, right? 'Cause all the men
That
want
nigga
her
ain't got
attention, right?
shit, yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden, around 17, 18, things start to equal out a bit, but still not there. Women still
not
have
there.
their,
Yeah, not
it's
yet.
Not,
Yeah.
I would tell you, right around 30, for me, is when the dynamic changes, right?
You should be an instant
Correct,
flip at that point.
correct.
Yeah.
Because I think what happens is now that woman is older. Now, most likely, she's got a kid or two, right? And if the dude was shitty she had a kid or kids with, then they're not around. So
Even
now
if she has none at all, if you really think about it,
but I would tell right. Even if she doesn't have any, but what I'm saying is yes. So there's the kid thing. If you don't have that though, a woman starts to look a little older, right? If a dude's keeping himself in shape, I just think that dynamic changes. And I would tell you that that same 30-year-old man that was pining over that woman who's now 30 or 32 at the same age when they were 17, 18, he didn't have a chance. At this age, he's not even sure he wants her.
Yeah, it's strange. That's strange, but it's true. Because the older you get, like the more you're stepping into yourself, the more you're stepping into your confidence, your swag, you're more established. The more you actually just know yourself, to your point, right? Now you could have, to your point, 31 flavors and have a laser approach and say, no, I'm going to go in and I'm going to just pick this flavor. Everything else is just noise, right? And so it's crazy how we never had that initially, but it comes. You're
it's really not crazy to me at all. It kind of speaks to what you said earlier. You know, it's so instinctive. What's desirable, you want it. You know, and I don't care what it is.
Not
whether
every
it's
man.
sex.
I don't think every man really gets that flip. I mean, it takes certain men to
I agree
really
with him because if you just once again, this is no knock on any of the niggas working out here at the Wawas, but if you just working at a Wawas 2 days a week, you staying at another chick house, she telling you what you can and can't eat in the refrigerator. That's not the dynamic shift, right? And there are many dudes out there, right? I'm talking about the man who has his own, where the girl says, and you're like, I'm not going to do that.
The man that you know doesn't need you to be okay.
Well said. Well said.
Okay, so let me understand what you're saying.
Okay, go with it.
So you saying on the level of attractiveness or being able to get that person that there's a shift? Because we as women, when we hit about 40, that's going to take another level because now you have the term cougars to kind of describe that sexual confidence that we now have. They're like, okay,
y'all be ready to fuck something at that point.
But fucking attractiveness. So what I would say is that man may not. That man at 30 years old, right? So when we talk about, it's not just attractiveness, right? I mean, it is attractiveness because men are visual creatures, right? And so a man is much less concerned about whether or not you've attained your master's degree or whether you've graduated from college versus how have you kept your body up and what's your vibe. Like, so
how do you make him feel?
And those things are absolutely impacted directly by age, right? Because the bottom line is, if you're a 35-year-old woman and you're attractive, you was probably bad at 25, right?
We actually will say it like that.
So like if she cute at 35,
we say that all the time.
If given the option, that man would choose the 25-year-old version of you.
Exactly.
That's just so I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I don't think it's not about.
Would you buy a used car?
Of course.
Depending on the car.
Yeah, right. But it's gonna go back a few years, right?
Yeah.
You're not going back 10, 15. You know what I mean? No. So you're going to get the newest model, even if you get something older. You want the best version of itself. I think men apply that to dating.
You want them to be on
and I think women, I don't think women do that. I think women look more at opportunity. You know what I mean? And like,
explain that.
This is who he is, and I can see the good in what he can provide. He may not be this, he may not be that, he may not be everything. And it's not even potential because this man may never be nothing different.
What she's seeing right now.
What I'm seeing right now is what it is. It's like, man, this is an opportunity to get something decent, but it's not going to be something great. And I think a lot of women fall into that, and a lot of niggas got a good woman at home, and she love him, but boy,
she levels up on him.
Yeah, she wished she chose differently, but that opportunity didn't present itself. And boy, what a risk to go through life and be single. And I met a good, decent man, but he wasn't as great as the man I hoped for. And I think a lot of niggas in that marriage, in that relationship, they don't even know it. Or they do, and they just benefiting from the situation.
I think a lot, and listen, I'm not trying to speak for women. I'm speaking about women from a male's perspective. But I think a lot of women in the early 20s. I'm not saying you got to marry and have babies if you want to get your career on. What I'm saying is I think a lot of women pass over a lot of strong potential men that have not yet met that potential. I can tell you right now, and I'm not being arrogant here, but by all definitions, I'm a very successful person in every aspect of my life, right? Yeah. I wasn't at 25. You know, I was doing 25 before Snook saved me. I was selling cell phones in Sam's Club with a fucking degree. Right, so a girl could have talked to me then, right? I wasn't even working.
She
out
could
at
have
that
shit
point.
on you, like
she could have been like, "Man, I got this tall, lanky mother that work and sell cell phones, right?"
And nigga ain't doing shit with his life,
straight up. And she would have missed out.
She would have passed up.
Spit on
missed out.
You know what I mean? So it comes down to opportunity and then choosing wisely. It's Russian roulette out here. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely Russian roulette because then you have a situation where a lot of women, I've been in a situation as well too, is where you see a dude's potential when you're young, right? I married my kid's father when I was 19. Yeah. So that's all we had was potential.
Too fast.
Right. That's
you just doing it.
I should listen to my mama. Yeah. But
me too, girl.
When you have
I was in the same boat.
Yes, you were.
I was in the same boat, y'all.
When you think you're ready, you know, and they tell you no. You're like, no, I'm grown. I can do whatever.
How that worked out? Don't worry. I know the answer here. Go ahead. Sorry.
There's that bus right there.
I said that at the beginning. But when you okay, then at that age, I'm gonna give you a pass when you're, you know, in your 20s and you embark on a serious relationship that way. But when you're 30 and 40 and you're single, I can't look at your potential. Like I gotta see
what
the
is
fruit.
Right now.
I gotta
what
see
have you
something.
Realized, right?
Because at that point, I've now built. We all should have, you know, built something. You know, it should be evidence of who you are and what you're becoming and doing. Unless you're doing a career change, but there still should be fruit of some success.
Let's break it down. I don't know how we got here,
people.
but I like you as a guest, so I want to ask. I want to see what is a woman's view as this is a good man? Like what characteristics? Lay it all out.
Okay.
From your perspective,
obviously, yeah.
Sure. I would say in this chapter of my life, all right, what a good man is, he's going to be a good communicator. I'm focused on the intangibles at this point. Yeah. And why do I say
you're
that?
You're going to be all right.
Yeah.
No, seriously, you're going to be all right.
It's true, though.
I'm focused on the intangibles because materialistically, I've already done that. So I'm not looking for that. When I was 20, yes, I was looking more as provider would be the first thing I say. What do you have?
Right.
But now I'm like, who are you? Who
That's
are
real.
you?
That's real.
So, you know,
That's
are you
dope.
kind? Do you listen? Are you forgiving? You understanding? You know, are you able to be intimate? Have you sat with yourself, you know, to know, you know, what you want and you can communicate that to
beautiful.
me? And we reciprocate that. So it's all those intangible things, you know.
Did you see what Jeanine said? Did you see? And it's exactly what I was talking about. What she's looking for now, which is realistically, and I think objectively speaking, really fundamental tenets of a good person, i.e. a good man, right? The things she talked about. She just said at 25, oh no,
I wasn't even thinking about that.
Right.
It
That
almost
nigga was around at 25.
Exactly. It almost speaks to us both, men and women, being immature, being at a place where we can't, we don't know what we're really doing just yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out what you really want. We're trying to figure out how to keep our dick in our pants. Like it's tough on us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you meet at the right time, then everything flows beautifully. But that what you said, that laid it out to me perfectly.
To me, the real paradigm is the brothers that still are thinking that all their value is tied up in
what they can provide.
What they can provide.
Money. And I know a lot of rich people.
And to me, they're
going
still
through
in their
divorce.
immature stage.
Yes.
Material possessions, right?
Yes.
And they're the ones that's flaunting it, and and that's what they think is going.
Not
to
even
grab.
flaunting it. It's the fact that they think because they provide it, that's what makes them good.
Yeah.
That's why you should love and respect them and want
and
them.
it's bullshit.
It's
not
like
long lasting.
it's actually a turnoff to me when I see a guy's IG or social media and his cribs, clothes, and cars.
Coochie. Oh yeah, cars too.
That too is like, but it's like, okay, when you take all that away, let's remove all of those things. Who are you? Do you know who you are?
Bible.
You know,
we've let ourselves go so far off, but I love it.
That needs to be said, though.
It did. No, that was dope. That was dope. I love that vibe. But we are gonna get back to why
Winding back to
why niggas our men are cheating. One of the reasons that I know for certain, just being in the barbershop, a lot of men don't feel that they can live out their truest sexual desires with the woman that they're with, and they don't feel comfortable, treating her that way. So they cheat just to do nastier things than they would do. You know what I mean?
They slut themselves out.
Yeah, and I actually think it's really stupid, because why would you do all of that with a chick that you can't really be with every day? You don't really know how she's moving.
Yeah.
If she's a slut doing this, everybody getting that. Yeah. But and then your wife, your girlfriend, she want to be slutted out too. But see, so now if you don't slut her out, now she thinking about another man.
What I'm going to tell you is, I both agree and disagree with you. So in those situations, right? Because when that man's feeling like he has to go out, that means their relationship in some shape or form is not healthy. Right, and if it's not,
but what
healthy,
if it's on him though, Des? Huh? What if it's what he's uncomfortable communicating?
But if he's doing that, then he's not 100% locked in. Yeah. So my point is, if you're not as one part of a 2-person relationship, if you are not 100% locked into making this relationship the best thing that it can be, then by default you're impacting the relationship in the other person, right? Whether or not that's your intention, right? So my point is, then you interrupted me. What's my point again? Oh, my point is that woman may feel the tension and the disconnect in that relationship. And so when you talk about your wife, your girlfriend, she want to be slutted out. Yeah, for a nigga that's connecting with her, that she feels some emotional attachment to. Right. So if you just a nigga, if y'all just roommates, she might love you. I got 2 kids. She love you. She don't want it to happen to your sorry ass, right? But there's no connection. So she's not going to let you do all types of nasty shit to her. She's like, I don't even like your ass.
And that's why men and women cheat. Due to that lack of connection,
no doubt,
you definitely want to feel like, man, this person gets me, this person knows me. In this case here, Buddy kind of made his own bed. Maybe communicating the things you want would connect you, would create some intimacy to where she would want to do these things.
Can I ask
intimacy
a question?
can't be the catalyst for intimacy. It has to be, in my opinion, it has to be the connection and the vibe. And you know this because we've all throughout our lives had relationships with people where you like, yo, there was something about this person that you couldn't explain. They probably wasn't even good for your ass at that time, but there was a fucking attraction that you could not explain. And my point is that I think too many times motherfuckers marry motherfuckers that they don't have that for. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think that has
look good on paper.
Do you know why I think, man? What's the most important thing? And you said it as well: communication. Like the people you really want to be around, they communicate well. You like the way they communicate with you. You receive it well. Yeah. You communicate with them and they get the way you communicate. Right. The people you really want to be around the most, it's all because of how they communicate. Absolutely. So that's the vibe right there. Yeah. So when I say intimacy, I think sharing. I think opening up does create intimacy, and it can foster into the sexual intimacy.
I don't disagree.
Nothing I find more sexual than vulnerability. When a chick starts telling me shit that made her sad when she was 8, my dick start jumping. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I can't fuck her right now because that would seem off. You know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I'm like, bro, I will fuck the shit out of you.
The level of trust she has in you is,
my gosh,
is virulent.
Dog, and she she got a tear in her eye. Like, damn, that vulnerability is such a turn on. More than
I think it's for women too.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of men obviously don't feel comfortable getting there. And I think that's why, we always stand out, and while a lot of men with game shine, it's just their ability to communicate.
Right, not even game. Yeah. Exactly right. Their ability to effectively communicate.
It comes off as game because of it.
They're not used to it.
So, Jeanine, what do you think about that?
So I have a question.
One,
I was going to comment on something that you said, but I'm going to ask this question since this is where we're on right now. All right. Like, I have a lot of male friends, and we are cool. Like, just like sitting here talking.
Cool,
like,
right.
I can be no, seriously.
You can say no. We'll leave that for another conversation.
Nothing physical, but it's like the conversation is really great. Okay, now I'm like this. My kind of has been my frustration is that when it's a guy that I like or he's gonna like me. It's like, why does it become weird? Like, keep being that friend that's cool, where we have that vibe and communication.
When does it become weird? Once you establish that there's feelings?
There's a like,
right? Because before then there's no expectation. That's why it becomes weird. Once I'm your man, now, especially if I'm a good man,
say it.
Now there's an expectation that I believe you have of me, but more importantly, that I have of myself in this newfound relationship. When I'm your homeboy and you tell me you about to go and fuck so-and-so, you about to go do this, I'm like, hey, look, homie, keep this in mind when you out there. Be safe. If you need me, call me. And then I'm going to go about my fucking night. But now you're my girl and now you're going, so I'm like, whoa. That place isn't safe.
I don't know that I agree with that. I've always been very good at walking the fine line of friendship and like friends with benefits and girlfriend, boyfriend.
That's not the question, though.
No, I know, but I guess my point is that if she communicates, we're friends and we're homies, and now she makes it known that she's interested beyond that, and I find her attractive. I don't know that would ever be weird for me. You know what I mean? I've never personally been in that situation.
We're not good examples because we're emotionally adjusted and we're good communicators.
Yeah.
We're talking about the
that switch so
and
quick. She'd be like, "Damn, nigga, you was been waiting on this." Yep.
But basically,
no idea.
that's what it is, Jeanine. It's the fact that the expectations are there, and we're guessing what we should be doing based off of those expectations rather than actually having the fucking conversation and saying, what do you expect from me? What do you need from me? How do I show up well for you? And in turn, you need to be asking the same thing, because if that's true, then it don't get weird, because the lines of communication wide open. Like, and that's the problem. We clam up for some strange reason and feel like, well, I got to show up and kind of be proactive and anticipate without actually talking. I could be dead ass wrong. I might not even hit the bullseye on that. And so there's that piece. And I think that's where the hang up happens.
Gotcha. And then I think that just when that happens, you say you go ahead and move forward with getting in a relationship, then it just always feels like there's a deficit, something's missing, which then leads to cheating.
You know the best way to do that, if you're trying to cross that path from friend to relationship, just get naked and fuck something. Like, remove the awkwardness. Yeah, you got to, because if you try to tiptoe around it, it could become difficult. You're making it awkward.
And then communicate directly after that. I tell you, boy, y'all be wide open.
Yeah, you just got to keep it real.
Two ways.
All right, so another reason why, actually probably a more common reason why men cheat is sex deprivation. She's holding the goodies back. And this happens a lot. I was just talking to my homegirl yesterday, married, and she said her and her husband hadn't had sex in 4 months.
Wow.
I said, damn, 4 months. And she said he was traveling to Colombia for 2 weeks.
Oh, no.
He's fucking.
He's getting
no, I'm just saying that's
what
what he was
Colombia.
about to.
I'm talking about in general. Like, you ain't fucked him in 4 months?
4 months, but then you could say the same for her. So
whatever.
I told her, what I told her was, I was like, you got to fuck him before he leaves. Like, you got to,
you don't send a man
you got
out
to
hungry.
really, you know what I mean? And I gave her some tips. She actually hit me back and was like, man, I'm glad you said it. I saw a side of him that I had never seen, yada, yada, yada. So I think a lot of men get pushed to that point, you know what I mean? Because if she don't fuck him and he goes to Colombia, he's probably fucking a chick in Colombia.
Absolutely.
You're out of the country, you know what I mean? So,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? So well, what's more likely. You know what I mean? You can only control what you control.
Right.
You know
If
what I
she
mean?
had
So
not, it was almost
you
an absolute.
definitely have to do your part. And that's sex deprivation, man. It's just happening all the time.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I was deprived for about 6 months.
Damn.
And
You look like you. All that gray in your beard. That's what it did.
That's why you're so angry, too.
It
Yeah.
did age me, and I do have anger issues.
Yeah.
But my therapist is helping.
Yeah.
But really, what goes in your mind during that time?
Yeah.
Like, it just progressively gets worse. It's almost like anything that you ignore always gets worse anyway. It never gets better. So it was a point where I was like, man, fuck this shit. I'm ready to compartmentalize when I said fuck that shit.
What's the longest you've gone without sex, Jeanine?
In a relationship.
In a relationship.
In a relationship.
I
2
wanted,
days.
I wanted the other answer.
You wanted the other
Yeah, I want that answer too, though, for shits and giggles.
While being in a relationship, I would say probably about a few months, 3 to 4 months.
You
But
disrespectful.
communication, no. But okay. So here's the thing, you guys. When the emotional part shuts down,
I said this.
when our heart closes, our
5 minutes
legs
ago.
close.
said it.
They're connected.
Yeah.
There is no disconnect. And
We
you
gotta
guys are
work
good
so-
with disconnecting those pieces.
We are, and we'll still want the pussy.
Yeah,
We gotta work so
like,
hard. We gotta work so hard. No, it's so hard
Yeah.
for a man, just to keep a woman. Like, if you really think about the shit you gotta
It's
do.
easy though.
I don't know. We're easy. Y'all are fucking difficult. And
Complicated.
I actually had a homegirl who goes both ways, and she was like, I don't know how y'all deal with us, man. These bitches cause too much problems. She said, I'm going back to niggas. Like, I'm going back to niggas, man. Y'all niggas
I have
simple.
a couple of girls.
Oh, they
I have
tough.
girlfriends that said the same
They
thing.
tough.
Really?
Yes, go both ways, and she was just like the craziest relationships they had.
Yeah, women, y'all tough to deal with.
Yeah, Yeah.
You should
that is too
you
much
should thank your
estrogen in
man
a
once a week
relationship.
for being with me. Like, hey, appreciate you still being here. Like, even though you think you're great, subconscious somewhere there's something. You know what I'm saying?
Just gotta communicate that.
I think another another good reason men cheat, ego. They like their ego stroked. It does kind of feel good when you go out to the club and a chick fawning after you and she on your jock and you're like, you can fall victim to that.
But let me ask you a question. Why can't you just heat check? Why do you have to take it further than that?
That's true.
Because the more it's like orange juice, right?
Okay.
That's like saying
Orange juice.
No, listen. It's like why would you,
Please take me here.
why would you go through the trouble of slicing the orange juice and slightly squeezing it when you could just squeeze the shit and get way more fucking orange juice? Orange juice being the adulation and the ego boost that you want.
Yeah, I
right.
heard
So
you
what I'm
say.
saying is, you talk about why do we go deeper?
We want more juice.
We want more fucking juice.
I think we
you
go
left
more.
the house thirsty.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I think we go deeper too.
Tell him. Soldier Boy.
I think we go deeper too because if the woman's mildly aggressive, I mean, this goes back to convenient pussy. How you turn it down? You know what I'm saying? A bad chick in your lap, like, let me just suck it. Then you going home saying I ain't really cheat because I just got head. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so when does cheating begin?
What you mean? When does it begin?
When are you cheating? Is it the look?
Oh no.
Is it the emotional connection or the physical act?
No.
When are you cheating?
To me, the physical act. Let me tell you what.
I agree with you
Yeah,
holistically.
the physical.
The physical act.
the
But if
physical-
you imagining it like you,
Man,
if
listen, we
you
ain't doing
get-
that foo-foo shit over here. Ain't no we imagine it. If I ain't fucked it, we ain't nothing.
Yeah,
happened.
I don't
We
like
ain't
that
cheating.
because there's no
Yeah.
fantasy is real. So
Yeah.
you telling me you never thought about
Yeah.
another
You
man to
dream-
help turn you on to
dreamed
be
about
with
other
your man?
niggas like we not doing that.
Like you're watching a porn and you see a
it's the
chick,
same
you
thing
see a
with
man,
porn. Like,
Okay.
if
and
you're
you're like,
watching porn,
that
like,
nigga got me wanting it. Then you, hey babe, that nigga getting fucked. You don't even know why.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? Yeah. That was,
But no, come here.
yeah.
He come here with his he got food on his mouth.
And you like turn the light off because you want to keep that image in your head of who you
Yeah.
really saw.
Oh shit, baby, we finna do something.
But you said something. You said
You
something
watched today,
earlier
Bernard? Go ahead.
about him at the club and
Not Bernard.
feeling tempted. I really believe you should never let your man leave the house with a full nutsack.
That's the best.
And I've been preaching this for a long
Take
time.
nothing
to
but
female.
listen.
If he's going out with friends for the night, especially if he's going on a trip for the
Definitely
weekend,
trips.
and
Especially.
maybe get 2 nuts out of him before he go on the
Yeah.
trip. You know what I'm
But he
saying?
have no
Like
interest.
work him out to where the point where dog he see a hoe, he like, bitch, please. I ain't got it in me. I ain't got it in me.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But like just on a regular basis, if your man's going, I just don't understand why so many women let a man who they know they're sleeping with and we haven't had sex in a week. And I hear chicks saying all the time, oh, I don't know, it's been a few days. If you're not counting the days that you last slept with your partner, you fucking up.
Especially if your man, and I'm sorry, especially if your man is someone, and we all know the objective measure of desirability, right? But you have a man that you know more than a handful of women are gonna find attractive, right? Because women are bold out here in these streets.
Yeah.
Super
And
bold.
what you're doing by not fucking your man properly is you're sending him out here unarmed to deal with this assault.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And what happens is he ain't busting nut. You talking about 4 months. He ain't busting nut in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And the girl at public say, you smell so good when you wearing.
Yes.
Dick hard as a rock.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
Now he wouldn't even think about her as. Now if she slip up, she can get the business. Right?
I agree.
But had you fucked his ass last night, he like, oh, it's this.
I agree. I agree.
No receipt, thank you. He grab his bag and leave.
I agree.
No receipts.
Yeah. I interrupt you though. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
But why can't you guys just say, listen, I need you right now.
That's
Do
a
this.
valid point.
You're
I
right,
appreciate
and I think that we do that.
Yeah.
I think I do that sometimes, but I hate
Say it.
getting to that point.
Don't
where
you
I
want
have
it to
to
be
say
willing?
But we're not a psychic.
Yeah, but I want it to be.
You know what I
We are
mean?
men.
And
You ain't got
we-
to be psychic.
I
You
know, and
already know.
I'm disappointed you even said
Already
that.
know.
We not a psych. Like,
We
I'm really
men.
disappointed that you said
Well,
that,
here's
girl.
No, she been
You
winning
know
all-
it's
she
been a
winning all
week. You know it's
episodes,
been
man.
several
But what if-
days
what if
since you
we're-
fucked your man, and you're saying
Okay,
you
wait a
didn't
minute.
know.
Wait. Okay, so wait.
Oh, man.
See, women, we go through hormonal cycles every 30 days, right? So you gotta.
I'll fuck through it. Don't worry about it.
You would.
That's
though.
not what her question
Okay, I
was,
just want to
man.
make sure that we understand.
And don't nobody. I don't know why, man.
No, I'm just saying because there shouldn't be anything that
I
stops.
thought
this
you
bus.
had patience. I thought you were talking about the.
man.
Nothing should stop this
Give
bus.
him a napkin or something. It's just for later. I don't know.
Damn, bro.
Jesus Christ.
I apologize.
Just say like, this is what I need.
And I think most times a man will get there. Like a week, 2. We're gonna, and and your woman will probably comply, but the fact is, it shouldn't get to that point. And men want to be desired.
That's
what
fact.
it is.
I agree with that. We need to
and
go
especially
for y'all
after we hunted and chased and we got you, and now we got to be with one bitch, you raggedy lazy bitch. We got to be with you, and now you don't want to come get the dick.
Right.
Now it got to be fucking hand delivered to you and shit.
Right.
No, bitch. That shit be killing me. You know what I'm saying? Men want to feel desired, man. I want to feel like the piece of meat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the side nigga back in the day.
Okay, but just to play devil's advocate, at the end of the day, couldn't we just circumvent being angry and mad if we just came up to her and said, "Listen, I need this dick sucked tonight." Simple.
I don't think that addresses what Jeezy's talking about.
Does that make you feel better than if she came up to you and you were sitting on the couch and said, "Tonight I'm gonna suck that dick"?
Completely agree.
You're like, "What, girl?" No.
So that's why it doesn't happen.
Come on, bro.
Okay.
Because people want to feel desired.
Yeah.
You can't be desired if a woman who hasn't willingly given you the pussy in a month and a half, you got to go up to her and ask for it. I'm supposed to feel desired.
And this kind of speaks and leans into the fucking cheating. And again, we're not excusing cheating, but we are talking about the why. And if my chick never makes me feel desired, I'm gonna go seek a bitch that desires me.
I will completely agree
and once
with
she
that.
makes me
Sometimes
feel
they fall in your lap.
Oh man, and they fall in your lap, and it's the devil. You thank God, but it's really the devil. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, you're gonna seek that out so you can get the feeling and the vibe that you want.
They be wait, and let me tell you, them girls be waiting for a sign
man.
that
She call
your woman fell off.
She call you king
Yeah.
every time she.
Come on.
Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we don't initiate sex with you guys. I'm talking about in a relationship, not just out here in the single streets, but we're talking about relationship. Is because we don't feel good about ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't like how we look naked.
Low self-esteem.
We don't. Now that we done had the kids, and stretch marks or something sagging. We ain't like that baddie that we have in our head. That's not the woman we see in the mirror. So we think you don't like that.
I have a theory for that.
So,
I've been
I'm just
preaching.
saying. This is true.
That's fair though.
That's super fair, but I've always preached overcompensation. You know what I'm saying? Like balance. If I know I am lacking here, I know what's not looking so good. I know what nobody really wants to see, but he's going to pretend to love it. How am I going to overcome? I'm not going to be less sexual. You know what I'm saying? If I'm I imagine a fat hole sucking mo dick. You know what I'm saying?
That's you got to get into our psyche. That is what is going through
That's what we
our
gotta
head.
do.
It doesn't
because
change it.
everything
It
that
doesn't
we
change
see
it.
every single day on our phone, in the line at the grocery store, there's this magazine. This is what beauty
IG,
looks
all
like.
of
And it hurts if your man or your partner, because women do this, on the reverse too. If your partner looks good and they're in shape still, and here you are slack, I imagine it could create a further insecurity.
I'm gonna call. So I understand your perspective, but the reason I call at least a little bit of bullshit on that is because unless you give me some reason as to why you're unwilling or incapable of directly changing the things about yourself you don't like. And what I'm talking about is this. This isn't one person or 10 person. There are millions of people every year that lose 30, 40, 50, 60
You're not
pounds.
going to get that though. Because they know that they can do it. You know what I mean? They know they're doing nothing. They know they can do it. They know that if I eat less and I move more, I will lose weight. And they sit on their ass that next day, nigga. They order goddamn Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, whatever they love. My point of matter is they are definitely capable, D, and they do nothing.
I agree.
And then they sad about that shit.
But listen, but I agree.
Then they hate their body, but they eat and shit.
So my point is, because of that, isn't that you got to get into our cycle? We've had a couple kids. Isn't that bullshit? The excuse?
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Okay,
she over here trying to make. She fighting for the women though. She's supposed to.
Calm down, because the reality is,
I'm not saying you. But
I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna agree with you in a
we know,
sense.
nigga.
Hey,
we
listen,
know.
It's whatever. It's whatever.
We know.
It's whatever.
That's what you here for. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
But at the end of the day, why can't we make the concerted effort? If that's what you're seeing, we may not even know what's going on in your psyche, but we know ultimately something's off. Why can't we make the concerted effort to try to make that person even more comfortable about everything that is
so we should make a lazy person feel more comfortable about being lazy?
No, I think he means making her feel more comfortable about her body.
No, but I'm not talking.
She
Yeah,
could,
I think that's what
she
she
could have a
means.
number of things
Self-esteem-wise.
that's wrong with her. It doesn't always have to be weight, y'all.
Lazy,
Yeah.
but you're making an assumption.
But we
that
are
lazy's
talking about
attributed
this
to weight.
because she spoke to the way she looks. So let's stay
you can't do
specific to
shit-
our topic.
You can't do shit about a stretch mark. You can't do shit about a
Cocoa butter vitamin
Come on,
E.
y'all.
No,
No,
that's
no,
not
and I'm
right.
Y'all ain't gonna be reasonable out here. Fuck
No,
this
I am
shit.
being
Like,
reasonable
for real.
because for one, I'm joking, and for two, I don't know one
ain't
man in the
being
world who gives a damn about a stretch
Yeah.
mark. I fucking love them
I need
shits.
a whole
I see it.
Facebook
White boy.
post
No, that's what I'm paying.
White
I
boys.
see it. Oh, well, maybe so. And I don't see none of them in here. We talking about niggas. I love fucking stretch marks on the titties, on the ass, on
yeah.
the hips, on the thighs. Nobody cares about that shit. So being not loving your body, being overweight has nothing. I've never heard a black man argue or have an issue with stretch marks, or a fupa for that matter, or a little gut. But when these hoes fat and then they want to, come on, bro.
Let's say it's not
killing me, bro.
But it could be something totally not even in regards to the body.
Yo, I need an
Like-
example so I can give you a response.
Yeah, what would
like,
it be?
She could not be.
She got a lazy eye?
She could not be meeting her aspirations. The way she's not in the part of her life where she feels fulfilled.
Oh,
or
so
her
you on some
purposes.
mental shit.
I'm just
Okay.
telling you, it's all mental. She has just talked to us about how mental it is, bruh.
Well, we were
And-
talking
and we're-
physical
and
in
we're-
that moment, but I
but
get what you're saying.
You asked me for something else, so
Yeah.
I'm taking a left turn. So at the end of the day, if we're not taking the time and say, listen, talk to me. I just want to tell you how amazing you are.
Yeah.
And what you mean to me, dog, that may override her current programming, bruh. And then all of a sudden, this thing flying open like an open flower, dog, blossoming. And
Yeah, like I said, that
when
just
you
speaks.
guys,
Go ahead.
when our man affirms us,
Yeah.
that goes so far. And then you gotta realize the woman that you with,
Yeah.
did she even have a father?
Yeah.
So when your voice speaking to her in here, that goes so far. That's a game changer. To hear that. A lot of times, a lot of us, the first male voice we hear in a household is the man we dating.
Yeah.
Is a man we married to, and so I don't think you guys
that's
realize
tough.
how much power
that's
you
tough.
have in your voice and what you're saying, because we're already used to being rejected by the man who was supposed to love and protect us, that father. So then, if you come behind that and you're now like, we've already internalized whether you have said it or not, or your actions have said it or not, we've already internalized that from a child to the time we met you. So it's expected that you're going to do the same thing. But when you come with the opposite and say, babe, you know what? I just wanted you look good. I'm still attracted to you, especially after having the kids. Like that's just that is just like a whole
Do you think men
thing.
should just lie to women about that?
Yeah, that's my
Like fake it till you make it type shit?
Yeah, because in a sense, because it's such a game changer. I don't know how else to express it. It's such a game changer when we hear from the man that we love, okay, that you still want us, that we're still amazing, and
we
get us to
find
talk
you
about that.
attractive,
and that we find you
except-
attractive,
so-
and that's like that would motivate me to get into the gym.
So
If that was the issue that I was having, weight loss and stuff like
So
that.
you would be okay with him lying? Like, because it'd be one of those lies that you're being lied to.
Well, I wouldn't say like
Shit.
be an
I
encouragement.
mean, are we going to keep it real?
Well, I mean, like, be an encouragement.
Yeah.
I'm not. There's extremes to everything,
Yeah.
And I know.
So
it's
don't
like
lie.
subjective.
Find the right words
Find the right words to be
make her
encouraging, to
feel good
motivate.
about herself.
you look refreshed this morning.
God damn. Not refreshed.
Girl, you.
You wearing them slippers,
Yeah.
boo.
I'm not talking about. First of all, you're not gonna be with someone that's like wearing a bonnet all day. You know what I mean? I don't even see that. I don't see that you being like
Been
that
there.
with the bonnet.
Been,
you know what I mean?
been there. Been there.
Damn.
Ain't nothing worse than bonnet head, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's not what you want on a head.
crazy.
with
You
shit,
want to be
man.
surgical
You know,
and cut
That's
that today.
sateen. That's
Yeah.
sateen.
Yeah.
I'm saying like when you're in a relationship and you've had that energy and that vibe,
Yeah.
that sexual energy needs are being met, and then something has changed. There's a variable that has changed. How do you get back on track?
Yeah.
You have to say something to that. Because like I said, sometimes it has nothing to do with you guys. It's all this wiring and this internal voice that we have going on.
So I agree, I understand what you're saying, and I agree that is probably, based on my experience and based on what you're saying, what women experience. But I guess my point is, So what? So like listen,
I was
man.
waiting on it.
No, but like listen, this is some woe is me shit, man. And this is some woe is me shit. Here's what you're saying. I'm saying here's what your position is putting forth.
Yeah.
Instead of you actively doing things to become the woman that will give you the confidence you need to live a different and better life, and that will cause your man or your husband or your boyfriend to give you compliments that are genuine because of the work that you've put in. And that's the work, not only your physical, but the work you've put in on your mind, whether it was getting more certs for your professional thing, whatever it was, the work that you've put in has made you a completely different person. And so now his compliments are genuine. Now you genuinely feel better. Or we can play this fucking game where you don't do shit. I give you sideways confidence to help your fragile psyche, and then we continue in this cycle until such time as we part ways.
Because you're gonna eventually become so frustrated
1000%,
you won't be able to continue.
Or you do. So I leave, or you end up doing what the fuck you should have done 2 years ago when I started lying.
Why
to you.
do women do
Can I
that?
ask you a
Hold on.
question?
I want to interject on that myself, and then I'll open it up to you. But let me ask you a question. Is there not a possibility that someone is doing something and on whatever journey and fail at that journey? Like, let's say my whole thing was being an entrepreneur and opening a business. I tried, I failed, right? And I'm not able to provide because I put everything in that. Is it soft of me to expect my woman to say, it's all right, it's going to be okay, you're going to go get it next time?
No, it's not. How long should she stay there while you're failing? How long should she accept your failure?
As long as I'm fucking trying?
And I mean, that's why I disagree.
Man,
and that's
bro.
why I disagree.
That's setting someone
That's
up
unfair.
to that's extreme. That's where the saying, if you love someone, let them go, shit comes to mind. Because if I know I'm not giving you what I know you need, and and you've expressed it to me, I have expressed to you that you deserve it and that I want to give it to you, but for whatever reason I can't get myself to do so, it would be selfish of you to continue in a relationship and placate me by saying I'm trying.
It's not the same thing, because there's the one that when they placate you and tell you they trying, but they really ain't fucking trying. Yeah. And there's the ones that you know,
I don't think it makes
they
a
trying
difference.
to get it out the fucking mud, and you see the effort. Like that, you can feel the effort. You can smell it. It's tangible as fuck.
Jeezy's question remains.
But
the question remains. That's not an answer to the question. Yeah. That's the explanation of his point. The question is, how long? And your response was, as long as I'm trying. So in perpetuity, so you can continue to try and fail in perpetuity.
Okay, so it's not 2 years, it's not 1 year, but you know he trying to. I feel like if a woman is, but
she would expect you to pivot. So if you're not working in this, she expects you to get better. I don't imagine you try to open the same business for 15 years and it's failing, and you're gonna stay at it, and she's gonna keep supporting you. You know what I mean? She's gonna say to herself, "What are you doing next?"
Okay, so everything. Okay, I'll agree that everything has a timeline. Fellas, that's fine. When I made this statement, it wasn't like infinity, right?
Yeah.
But
sounded like it.
Okay, then I stand
go ahead,
fucking
Jeanine.
corrected.
My bad.
So go ahead, Jeanine. I'm sorry.
My question is, what is the thing that would break a man? Because I'm telling you what would break a woman. What it is that break you that we have to then say, well, hey, you know, you're not meeting that emotional need for me anymore.
That's what's
going
to
shut
emotionally do
down. So what is it, that thing that will break you? The main thing for us, a lot of times, like I said, is the physical component, because we're in a beauty-driven society.
Sure.
So it's like, no matter how smart I am, I still won't be attractive if I don't look a certain way.
Right.
That's a hardcore reality.
That is.
You know, I have a lot of single female friends. They are great.
People.
Yeah.
Right. Great people. No,
I get what you mean.
It's like, girl, you better get a cat or a dog, because it's just not gonna happen. You know, as far as men coming, that's a
while
hardcore
a man,
reality.
If he's successful in other ways, he can get away with not being as attractive, for sure.
Yeah.
He can.
That is facts.
Yeah. He can. A lot of them niggas.
So the question is, what would break us?
Mm-hmm. To make you shut down in that relationship, to make us cheat on you.
What did you say breaks women?
What is the physical?
Physical.
Yeah,
okay.
that's the thing that breaks us down.
So are you saying, though, before we get there, are you saying that if a woman doesn't feel physically secure about herself, that maybe she'll cheat because she kind of wants a self-esteem boost?
No, I'm saying that is
dude's giving that emotion.
something that when we don't feel good about ourselves, that's going to bring you to go cheat outside the house because you're not getting your sexual needs met. So I'm saying, you guys are saying, hey, well, you need to get in gym, you need to do your thing. So what is the thing that makes you shut down?
This is a hard one.
On us because
that would make her cheat.
That would push us outside the household that you want us to be understanding to.
Go ahead, D. I know what I'd say.
I don't know if I understand the question. I mean, what would
we do to lead her to make her want to cheat on you? I think I know. Unless you want to go.
Yeah, mine, honest to God, would be appreciation, and respect. Right. And I think some of them kind of go hand in hand, I guess, because
I know
everything contributes to respect to me, and if I feel disrespected, listen, I'll burn Rome.
No,
down. I don't give a fuck. Right.
With
But
all
that's
due
for
respect,
me.
I think that's not what would make a woman cheat. That would break her. I think.
No, we're talking about
what a man would do to make a woman cheat. Is that
we're getting it from her standpoint.
Exactly. I think a lack of attention. I think if a woman is no longer getting the attention she needs, no longer being made to feel special, I think if a man is not doing that, that will break her and make her want to cheat on you.
But why would you do that? That's what I'm saying. What inside of you is
checked out.
causing you to shut down?
It could be.
out.
It
Like
could
she
be.
looks good and all that. It's not. So what is happening?
So it's not
in you
physical?
Right. It's not physical. That you're not physically.
It's probably
attracted
the
to her.
communication and the vibe. You know, because we established that they go hand in hand. I want to be around people that make me feel good. That when I speak and communicate, they receive it well, and vice versa. So what would make me stop giving a woman attention is she no longer vibes with me. We're no longer on that same wavelength. Whatever changed, she switched up, or maybe I grew and we didn't grow together. Whatever the reason may be, I think the vibe is what would make any man pull back and be like, no, I'm not giving her that same level of attention because it no longer feels the same way. Sex could be a part of it, but I think for the most part, it would go beyond that because sex typically is simple for a man. And if y'all together, he must like the sex on some level already. Right. So it to me, it would definitely be the vibe, because if I don't want to be around you, everyone talks about love. Love's a choice. You know what's important more? Like.
Yeah.
I want to like my bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
I choose to love. You know what I mean? And through my actions every day. But a liking is a feeling that's kind of out of your
That's
control.
what I talked about earlier. It's just something that, it's just people that you want to be around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't have an answer to a question.
Yeah.
Because you don't think you can do anything wrong.
Oh, man, why you do that to me? Nah.
How she know you already?
No.
How she know you already?
Listen,
She must be listening to the podcast.
Listen, no, I know I can do wrong. Here's the thing, though.
I'm just gonna tell you
When that's your next statement, you're about to contradict whatever you just said. You got to just take the L and say that's not true, and then shut up.
But here's the thing. I'm willing to. The thing that would make a woman in a relationship with me feel as though she needs to go somewhere, do something else with someone else, would. I don't want to say this. I lost my train of thought, actually.
I just think it starts with what you're not getting, and if I'm not being fulfilled, then
I got it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wouldn't give a fuck. Like my thing is,
You ain't care?
see, I care, but here's the thing.
with a question mark at the end.
Yeah. I care, but I don't ever, and I never have in my life, feel like I should have to do a bunch of things and check a bunch of boxes for somebody to really want to fuck with me.
Yeah.
But you already did that when you got into the relationship. So now you're in the relationship.
Right.
What are you doing to drive her outside the house?
You're assuming that I checked any boxes. You're assuming that I didn't have whatever the fuck was going to be checked, and she just got with it, and she thought she was going to put another fucking check in that box, and it didn't happen. Now she's feeling some kind of way. I'm this, and I would say this for every relationship that I've been in. Listen, I have a very peculiar personality, right? I can be a little strong-willed or opinionated. But what I would say is my personality, knowing me since I was young, right? Since I was 19, my personality has consistently been the exact same. So there'll never be a woman that says she dated me, she got into a relationship with me, and I changed on her. And that's my thing. If I get into a relationship and I don't do the things that I did prior to you coming, then I'm
on you.
Fuck shit.
Yeah.
Right, that's on me. But if I'm the exact same person, you thought you was gonna merge and drive this shit somewhere,
and
you
now
ain't
that's
able to
not
steer,
enough, and now you want to
that
cheat.
ain't on me.
Yeah,
you got to go.
Right.
Then
You can't move the cheese.
because I'm gonna be the same as that person for the next person.
I just think that we start playing which come first, the chicken or the egg game, where if you don't fulfill me, right, and now I'm feeling unfulfilled, I'm not motivated to give you what you want. So then now you're not getting what you want, and you're unhappy, and now you're looking elsewhere. When if we really find the root, we often know what it is. And I'm not saying it's always the woman. You know what I'm saying? It can sometimes be the man, but to me, if you're an intelligent woman and you're able to self-assess, which to me is the most important thing to do for everyone, then you got to be able to see, like, damn, I switched this up. So let's do this. Run a hypothesis. Run a whole science project. Let me do this and see what happens.
That takes self-awareness.
And I tell women that all the time. I tell men like that all the time. You do this and see what happens. And the reaction will tell you what you need. You know what I mean?
Let me just tell you, it's so crazy, and then we can move on to wrapping up.
Yeah,
we
only got one.
But what I will tell you is, it's so crazy how if you don't have the self-awareness that you waiting on her to do something to pull you in, right? And she waiting on you to do something to pull you in. And that stalemate.
Yeah.
It's the death of relationship.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Damn, bitch.
Chicken.
I'm talking about
Game of chicken.
call it. Because he fuck that or cheat.
Yeah.
He gonna leave too.
Right.
I just don't get why the culprit, the true culprit, the root, why won't they just be real? Because I think we all know when we be fucking up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if I know me, I often have time to myself and I'm like, man, I reassess shit throughout the day. I'm like, man, I was kind of wrong for that. And I'm the type of person that'll come back to you later and be like, hey, my bad. I do it with my kids all the time. I overreact to some shit and I go fucking crazy because I'm fiery. And then maybe an hour later, I'm like, man, my bad, son. I probably went in a little harder than I needed to. You know what I mean? So I just don't understand why people aren't able to do that more because
that's what you're talking about. You're not giving yourself credit for a very complex and mature thought process, right?
Yeah.
Because there are a number of things that need to be apparent in order for what you're talking about to happen. The first is awareness, right? Like, I gotta know, right? The second thing is I gotta know that I'm on some fuck shit, right? Then there's accountability. I have to be willing to say, not only am I aware of this happening, but I am the cause and the reason for this. And then proper and effective communication. Yeah. Then I need to communicate to the people that I need to, that I'm aware of this issue, that I'm the reason for, and I'm trying to work on it. And the reason that most people don't do it is because most people are missing one of those things.
Yeah.
God
That's
dang,
the bottom line.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well,
They never get
you can
there.
almost wrap it up on that one right there.
That's true.
They never get there.
The last thing I want to do before we wrap it up is say, to me, probably the biggest reason anyone cheats at all, man or woman, you fall out of love. And to me, being in love is extremely, liking someone very strongly, you know? So that's why we say we're in love. Once you fall out of love and everything is like obligatory and we're just parents and we're doing this together and that, it no longer feels like a relationship.
Turn
But
roommates.
like roommates.
Mundane.
Mundane, bored, all that starts to seep in. That's where you really fall out of love, and it's gonna be hard not to want to chase that. I think we all want love, and we want to have that feeling of being in love. And if we're not getting it at home, I do think you're gonna subconsciously chase it. Even if you're going out there to cheat, but you're not gonna leave. But you want to get to that feeling where, oh yeah, she's in love.
They say
with
the
me.
strongest
I'm in love with
emotion
her,
is
you know?
love, man, and so I mean that's facts.
Can I say something? And I want to let Jeanine kind of say anything she wants to say on the tail end, but I think this is me. You got two other men here, but for me, if I could pick an emotion or feeling that is most important to men to receive from others, I wouldn't even say it's love. Love is up there. I would go appreciation.
That's what
And
I
I
said
would
earlier.
and appreciation, that what that appreciation is and how it's received can vary from relationship to relationship.
that's
You
true.
could appreciate me because my lady goes to work, but I make sure I got the kids at practice. I'm cooking, I'm shopping, I'm a stay-at-home dad, but I take my job seriously.
Handle
You
it.
appreciate when you come home from work, baby. You ain't got to worry about nothing.
Making life easier.
Or vice versa. You appreciate the long hours I work to provide a stable household for these kids. Or the fact that I'm an artist and I always do things to brighten your day. I'm a thoughtful person. Whatever that appreciation is that your significant other, in this case a woman, is aware of that, and that she communicates that appreciation to that man in whatever love language is his to receive it.
That's
I
well
think
said,
that's
bro.
I think
Yeah,
that's
mine's physical
So
touch.
Jeanine, what's
Stupid.
final thoughts for you, man?
But before we do that, I want to. I agree with you wholeheartedly, but I want to speak to something else that I think a man needs a lot of, and that's respect. So I think appreciation is big, but I think that
I'm on
how
fire.
I receive love more isn't really appreciation, because a lot of things that I do for my family. I do what's right. Like I'm one of those guys. Like I hate hearing say, "Oh, a man saying he was watching his kids." Nigga, they're your kids. Like
right.
so appreciation. It's important, but again, in my mind, this is what I'm supposed to do. But respect is big, you know. So just the way you talk to me, the way you handle me, the way you handle me, the way. You know what I mean? You submit to me. That shows me a lot more love than, verbal appreciation. Okay. But go ahead, yeah.
Gotcha.
All right.
Definitely, I would say is if you're going to be in a relationship, like I have classmates that are high school sweethearts and they're still together.
Yeah.
I'm like, I take my hat off to y'all because I
She
have
done
changed
forgave
so
him a
much.
few times.
A couple times for sure.
Yeah.
See, girl, that could have been you, girl. That could have been you. Patience is a virtue.
Right. But in observing that and, in my own journey, I would say, if you're going to be in a relationship, and if you're going to be in a committed relationship, is give yourself and your partner space to grow. We're, fundamentally, I'm the same person, but the way in which I express that is completely different.
Right.
At this age and then, at 19, 20 years old. And so as you're growing and changing, you got to check in. Yeah. You got to check in with your partner because they're growing and changing as well, too.
I was just going to say, I wouldn't give them too much space because then you run the risk of growing apart. I think you do have to give them space, but kind of stay attached.
To check in. To check in with it. And then you said something important. You said, your love language. So I can't love you the way I want to love you because you're not going to interpret that as love. You're not going to interpret that as respect and appreciation. Exactly. I got to love you in a way that you can receive it and that you can tell that that's what's happening. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So, and again, like I said, that sometimes that changes in different chapters and seasons of your life. Things happen, we have loved ones that die, friends that die, things like that. And that's the thing that you can't predict how in which that's going to change you in a way that makes you shut down or, stagger or wait. Yeah. So you have to check in with that person, stop assuming, stop trying to be a psychic. This is how they feeling or internalize what their actions is something that's wrong with me. That's why they're acting this way. You got to check in. You got to communicate. And then if you don't want to do those things, because all of this sounds like work and effort. So if you don't want to do those things, then don't commit. Yeah. Stay single. That's
what this generation is doing a lot of. I think they're not committing because they see that shit hard work.
Yeah, it's work. You got to put in work.
It's much easier to be single and only worry about yourself.
It is.
Just keep it casual.
Right. But you know what? The work that goes in relationships and subsequently the rewards that come from them, I think outweigh the feeling that you get when you're single. But to your point, you got to be willing to put in the work. So
yeah, absolutely. And don't be afraid to sit with yourself, get to know yourself, which is, you'll find out if you read this book.
That's what's up.
Shout out to Breakup Boss, the Breakup Boss.
Yeah.
Here by Jeanine Mack. Do we have Jeanine's socials that we want to throw up?
What is it? 21476. Oh, you mean her actually?
No, not a phone number. Hey, y'all check out her podcast.
Yes, that's at JU Podcast on IG.
Okay, yes. Unscripted Podcast. Yeah. Get the book for sure. This is a real mogul right here. She's trying to put everyone on game. And we appreciate you putting us on game.
1,000%. Round of applause for this man.
Appreciate you. This was a good time.
It's a good time. Man, it's a good time. We're going to have you back. You got a perspective.
Okay. I love it. Anytime.
All right. Brunch with the Boys. We everywhere. All podcast platforms, YouTube presence. Check our IG, TikTok,
you know what it is.
Facebook. You know what it is.
We love y'all.
Holla at your boy.
Peace.
Yeah. Coffee and brunch. We could have our conversations over coffee and brunch. Ha.